Hey guys, I'm Dave Bautista. I'm here with BuzzFeed, and today we're playing with puppies! I can't say puppies without screaming, puppies! All right, let's bring them in. They're afraid of me. Oh my God, they're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute. You're the playful ones. Oh, now they're smelling my dogs. You smell doggy? Let me give you a kiss. And I'm gonna give you a kiss. I'm gonna give you a kiss. You're gonna get a kiss whether you want it or not. God, I have a lot. Let me pick one. Kind of for personal reasons, it was the day that I got to meet Sir Ben Kingsley, which was a huge day for me personally and professionally. A lot of fun moments on set, especially with Terry and Sophia, but I think for me, as an actor and as a human being, getting to meet Sir Ben was just a huge deal for me. Oh, we got another accident. It was fun reuniting with Pom. It also was interesting because obviously our characters were so different than they were in Guardians. So getting to step outside of those characters was I don't know, it was pretty special. I've worked with Karen Gillan, who plays Nebula as well, in different characters, and that was special. If I could work with all my Guardians cast members in different projects, just to be able to step outside those boxes of our Marvel characters, that's kind of my wish. I really connect with the characters. I mean, with the breed. I think it's because I'm often judged by the way I look. And I think people would look at me and think that I've been through this before. I think because they would look at me and think that I'm a bit rough around the edges and may seem a bit intimidating. And I think it's the same with pit bulls. I think they're often misjudged, and I think they're the sweetest breed and definitely the easiest for me to relate to. I'm so used to this. I have a lot of shoes with missing shoelaces, and I've gone on days to work, put my shoes on in time, and noticed that my laces were chewed off. So a lot of my shoes have different shoelaces because in emergency, I'm trying to find a shoelace that'll fit my shoe, and they don't match. So I have a lot of shoes with mismatched shoelaces. I got a picture of Tallulah from Chris Pratt, and he sent me a picture of Tallulah and asked if I'd be interested in adopting her because his castmate was trying to adopt her out. And I originally said I couldn't do it. I didn't know if I could manage 4. And I kept looking at her picture and looking at her face, and I just fell in love with her. And I agreed to adopt her. And he said, great. And he said, I'll have my castmate, Millie, get in touch with you. And I said, wait, Millie Bobby Brown? And he said, yeah. And originally I had no idea. I just fell in love with Tallulah. But there you go. Get that hand. Get that hand. And I got in touch with Millie, and I said, I'll get up to Atlanta and pick her up as soon as I could. And she said, don't worry about it. I'll have somebody drive her down. So literally, like that day, the day I got home, 2 guys showed up at like midnight and just handed me Tallulah. And I said, do you have paperwork or anything for me? And they said, no. I said, well, do you guys want to use the bathroom or something to eat? They said, no, we've got another drop off. So they handed me Tallulah and they took off. And there I was with Tallulah, and she's happy and healthy, and she's my baby. I think, like most people, my favorite Dolly Parton song would be I'll Always Love You. Yeah, still to this day, it'll make me tear up. I love that song. It's just emotional. Even Whitney Houston's version of it just chokes me up. I'd like to be in something in the DCU with James Gunn. I really want to do something with him on that side. I always wanted my character and Spectre, the James Bond installation, I always wanted him to be a reoccurring character. So I would happily go back to that franchise. I'm not much of a thrill seeker. I don't have an A-type personality at all. I might have ridden my motorcycle a little too fast, like illegally fast. Like really illegally fast. But other than that, I've never jumped out of a plane or anything like that. It's so funny because when I do films, especially action films, I think they're always disappointed that I'm not excited about the action, and I just don't. Like, I'm not excited. I'd rather perform a dramatic scene and possibly drive someone to tears rather than being in a crazy action sequence. It just, I don't know, it doesn't excite me. I did my 20 years in wrestling. The action part of me is just kind of burnt out. It's funny because I don't think that's what most of my fans want to hear. They want to hear that I'm that tough guy, that testosterone-driven action guy, and I'm just not. Like, I could care less about. Like, I don't want to be Tom Cruise, like strapped to a plane. Like, stunt double. That's what stunt doubles are for. Like, I paid my dues. I have, surprisingly enough, my favorite tattoo is here on my thigh, and it's of my dogs. And so I've actually saved room, because my 3 dogs that I have here have since passed away. And I have room for my newer dogs, but I'm waiting for Tallulah to get her mature face so I can get all 4 of my dogs tattooed. The only role that I've had to cover my tattoos up for was Drax. And I just covered my tattoos up for more tattoos, because they just put tattoos on top of my tattoos. So I covered all my tattoos up just to put more tattoos on. But that's the only role, and it was a real pain in the ass. On the first film, it took about 6 hours. And by the time I left the Marvel U, my makeup process was like an hour and a half. Yeah. Probably touch. Yeah, I think I'm a huggy, feely guy. I'm not great with words. If you give me something that doesn't mean all that much. I mean, it does mean, like, I appreciate it, but also I feel like, like, there's not much. It would have to be like something I am invested in, like lunchboxes or cars, and I have all that I need or want. So it's more of, I'm a huggy, feely, touchy person. Not inappropriately. Get that clear. I'm not that guy. I'm happy they found, like, they've got toys, and I want to play, but they're more interested in this one shoestring. I'm guessing that Rizz is like game, and I have no game. I have no game at all. I don't know how I've ever had a girlfriend. I think girls typically feel sorry for me because I have no game, and I don't pretend to have game. I'm just well aware. I typically, and I'm a very straightforward person too, so I don't like, I'm not super flirty or anything. If I want to meet someone, I just start a normal conversation, which I think would, most people would find boring, but it's, hey, how are you doing? I just want to meet you, and what do you think? Yeah, I've actually done 4 films in Budapest. It's a second home to me now. Blade Runner, both Dunes, and now Killer's Game. And I also recently did a film in Bratislava, which is a couple hours away, and I spent most of my days off in Budapest as well. So it's definitely a happy place for me. I've worked there so much that I have not only very good friends that I stay in touch with, but I've also got, like, ex-girlfriends. I don't eat out a lot. When I do, there's a couple sushi places that I'll eat at because they will cater to my diet, which is gluten-free vegan. So, so I don't eat out a whole lot. Being gluten-free is one thing, being vegan is another. Being a gluten-free vegan is damn near impossible. I still get frustrated thinking about it, but it was Knock at the Cabin. Literally, I had about 2 days to prepare for the film. I wrapped on Guardians of the Galaxy in Hollywood on Friday morning. I went straight and hopped on a jet and flew to Philadelphia, where I started Knock at the Cabin on a Monday morning. So I had 2 days to really get myself ready for that film, and I was completely unprepared. It haunts me to this day because I definitely didn't blow the role, but I just felt like if I was more prepared, if my focus was more centered, I think I would have been better. You're so cute. Ooh, you know who I think was really overlooked as an actor? I don't know if he hasn't pursued it as much as he'd like to because he's still heavily pursuing professional wrestling, but is CM Punk, Phil Brooks. His potential in acting is pretty unlimited. So I really want to see more from him in acting. And I'd actually love to work with him because I think he has a passion for acting, but I think still his heart is in professional wrestling. Until he's able to let that go a little bit, he'll never be able to fully envelop himself in acting. But I think Phil Brooks is he's a great actor. Oh, Terry Crews, all day long. Terry Crews, without blinking, could be a WWE superstar. He's not only physically able, but his charisma and personality is off the charts. He'd go there, and within a week he'd be world champion. Scott Adkins is incredible. I'd seen him in films, but it's not until you work with somebody and see them on set until you really understand how athletic they are. And Scott Adkins is a freak of nature. He's a force of nature. And also a hell of an actor. It's one thing when you're familiar with them as action stars, as stuntmen, or as martial artists, but it's another thing when guys can just switch and they're just great actors. And he has both. And I think he's often overlooked for his acting. But there's been certain roles, like his last role in The Last John Wick. I mean, I didn't recognize him in that fat suit, but you realize like how talented he is. It's off the charts. What are you guys fighting over? This little teeny one, I think, is my favorite. She's the underdog. I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for you. I don't hate to say this, but it's almost like she's like the queen of rom-coms. This is why I hate saying it, but Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, she's my favorite, and I love her personally. I just feel like she's kind of been there, done that, probably with some of the greatest actors in the world, so I don't know if she'd be up for it. But I just love Kate, and I think it would be magical if I were able to do a rom-com with her. It's hard for me because I know I'll answer and I'll say something because it's on the top of my head. Then I'll walk out the door and be like, oh, I should have said that one, I should have said. And then an hour from then, I'll change my mind and it should have been something else. And right now, the film that is popping up in my head is Notting Hill. Just love it. But also like Love Actually. For right now, I'm gonna go with Notting Hill, and knowing that my answer will change. Chris Pratt early on told me that he was a wrestling fan, and in particular a Bautista fan, and I didn't believe him. I said, nah, that's bullshit. And he showed me this old picture of him when he was on the beach with this big WWE Bautista towel. And I was like, no way. So that probably would have been like the most shocking, I think. It would probably be the universe of Stuber, just because that's more like my plain, boring universe. Most of my films are like sci-fis or worlds that are dangerous, and I don't want to live in those worlds. I want to live in a boring world where I can do boring stuff and be my boring self. And I don't have to worry about my life or being attacked by a monster. I don't even eat that much junk food anymore. Being a gluten-free vegan has really saved me from being fat. Because I do have an appetite, but I'm so restricted on what I can eat. There's a place in Tampa where I live called Hale Life Bakery. It does all vegan, gluten-free stuff, and it would be like anything from there, any type of donut. Fried food is my guilty pleasure. But then I also have to follow it with something sweet, so I'm that guy. It used to be like fried chicken, and I gave that up a long time ago. It would be followed by donuts. I would still be involved with the WWE, I hope, because I really loved it. It wasn't that I ever wanted to not be a part of that universe, because I love the WWE universe. It was just that I became so passionate about acting, and I'm still like pursuing it with everything I have, but I still love that world. I have a good relationship with the company. I hope that they would always leave the door open for me, because I just love professional wrestling. There might have been a rumor that I was dead. Recently, there's a rumor that because I've lost a lot of weight, purposely, but I saw some people were questioning whether I was in bad health. And I was like, I'm still 240 pounds and I feel better than I have in forever. Like, what do you want from me? I'm not gonna be 300 pounds my whole life. I'm 55 years old, for God's sake. Hi, I'm gonna eat more puppies. Ah. I auditioned for one of Robert Rodriguez's films. I didn't get the role. I auditioned for a role in the Steve Jobs film. I didn't get the role. I auditioned for a film in a Tom Cruise film, and I did get the role and couldn't do it because I was on another film called Riddick. Oblivion, I think, was the name of the film. I grew up really with my mom, and so we didn't have that traditional type family where we gathered around the dinner table. My mom was always working. It was typically me and my sister. We were on our own. There was something really cool that my mom used to do when we were young, and she had this old VW. I can't remember. It was like a VW station wagon. And we were kids in DC. She worked nights, and she would come home before the sun came up. She would get donuts. She would put us in the back of the VW station wagon, and she'd take us to her favorite memorial in DC, the Jefferson Memorial, so we could watch the sun come up and eat donuts. So that was kind of a special memory. Yeah, and also, my mom, because we were pretty broke, and so we couldn't do a lot throughout the year, but my mom always made Christmas like extra special for us. We got kind of everything we wanted that we couldn't get throughout the year. I love House of Dragon, and it's really frustrating to me that they're like one episode a week. Like what? Like we want to binge. We want to binge, Max. You know what happened to binging? I was thinking, I don't want to wait until all the episodes are out and then watch them. I want to dump them all at once. What happened to that? Thanks, BuzzFeed, for having me. That was fun, and I want to thank Best Friends Animal Society for these beautiful, amazing puppies. And if you would like to adopt one of these puppies, you can go to bestfriends.org. Make sure to watch the Killers game. September 13th. It's going to be in theaters on September 13th. And then it'll be available on Prime Video internationally. Are you guys impressed with me? I'm a movie star.